It all began one evening after work when I sensed that something wasn't quite right. Lisa, my wife of 5 years, had been behaving oddly. She seemed distracted, a bit more distant than usual. At first, I couldn't quite pinpoint it, but there was a noticeable shift in her demeanor. A strange tension lingered between us, something I had never felt before. The subtle warning signs had started appearing weeks earlier: late nights at the office, an unexpected fixation on her phone, and a guilty look in her eyes whenever I asked about her day. The usual explanations she gave me about work felt rehearsed, but I brushed them off, convincing myself that she was just overwhelmed with job stress. Maybe I was reading too much into it. I reassured myself. But then one night, everything changed. A message from an unknown number flashed on her phone, which she had left face down on the kitchen counter. I hesitated for a moment, but curiosity got the better of me. I picked up the phone and unlocked it. The message was straightforward. Can't wait to see you tonight. 9 p.m. at our usual place. I'll be there early to set everything up. My heart sank. A rush of emotion swirled inside me. Doubt, anger, disbelief. I tried to suppress the storm brewing in my chest, but I needed answers. Who was this person? The name attached to the message was unfamiliar, and I couldn't even begin to comprehend what was happening. The following day, I played it cool, masking my suspicions and pretending as if everything was normal. But inside, my mind raced. Should I confront her? Should I wait and see how things unfolded? That evening, she casually mentioned that she was going out with friends. I didn't question her. By now, her excuses were becoming harder to believe. She had a habit of taking her time getting ready, and I couldn't shake the feeling that she was carefully preparing herself to meet someone. As she stepped out the door, I made up my mind. I was going to follow her. I had to uncover the truth. I drove to the restaurant where I suspected she would meet him. Parking a short distance away, I waited in the shadows. My heart pounded against my ribs, my thoughts spiraling between rage, confusion, and fear. What if I actually saw her with another man? How would I react? How would I confront her? I had no plan, just raw emotions surging through me. Minutes dragged by, and then I saw her. Lisa walked into the restaurant, glancing over her shoulder as if checking to see if anyone was watching. She wasn't dressed casually. She had put in extra effort. She looked different, almost as if she were meeting someone special. Then it happened. I saw him. A tall man with dark hair and a confident stance stood near the entrance. His eyes followed her, and a smile formed on his lips as she approached. My stomach twisted painfully, but I remained hidden in my car, observing their interaction. I couldn't take it anymore. I stepped out and strode toward the restaurant. I had to see the truth with my own eyes. But just as I got closer to the entrance, something unexpected happened. The man turned and walked away, passing right by me as if I didn't even exist. I froze for a second. Was he trying to avoid me? Was he just heading to the restroom? Or was he leaving? Taking a deep breath, I pushed open the door, my heart pounding in my chest. Lisa sat alone at a table, her fingers nervously tapping her phone screen. When she looked up and saw me, the color drained from her face. She immediately stood, her voice trembling. "W, what are you doing here?" Panic was clear in her expression. For a few seconds, we just stood there, locked in a tense silence. She looked like a deer caught in headlights, scrambling for an excuse. But I wasn't here to play games. I stepped closer, my voice low but firm. "I know what's going on. I know about him." Her face went even paler. "W, what? You don't know anything," she stammered, but the lie was painfully obvious. Her eyes darted toward the door, as if expecting the man to walk back in. But he never did. I leaned in slightly, watching her every movement. "I know you've been seeing someone else," I continued, keeping my tone steady. "And I know this isn't the first time." Anger simmered inside me, but I kept my composure. "You thought you could keep it a secret," I said, my voice filled with disappointment. "But now you have to face me, Lisa." Her lips quivered. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Please, just let me explain." She reached for my arm, but I stepped back, refusing to let her manipulate me again. "I don't want an explanation," I said coldly. "I just want the truth." That was the breaking point. Her facade crumbled and the confession poured out. She admitted everything, how it had started as a harmless friendship but quickly escalated into something more, how she had woven lies to cover her tracks, convincing herself it was nothing serious. But deep down, she had known it was wrong. I stood there, the weight of her betrayal crashing down on me like a ton of bricks. I had loved her. I had trusted her. And she had deceived me in the worst way imaginable. I didn't know how to react. A part of me wanted to yell, to unleash my rage, to make her feel even a fraction of the pain she had inflicted on me. But another part, the part that still, somehow, cared, just wanted to walk away and never look back. I turned to leave. She grabbed my arm again, her grip desperate. "Please don't go," she pleaded, her voice shaking. "I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen." Tears streamed down her face, but I felt nothing anymore. I looked at her one last time and spoke with finality. "You made your choice," I said firmly, "and now I have to make mine." Without another word, I walked out of the restaurant, the door swinging shut behind me, a sound that felt like the closing of a chapter in my life. That night, Lisa called me over and over, leaving message after message, begging for forgiveness. But I never answered. The betrayal had cut too deep, and I wasn't sure if I could ever forgive her. One thing was certain. I was done being the fool. Never again would I allow anyone to have that kind of power over me.